It's all right, man.
She should get that looked at. She got like rigor mortis or something going on there.
Oh, her hand just seems to be stuck in that position, doesn't it?
It does. Let's see.
She's giving me a look.
Yeah, it's probably the same one that I get.
What?
You get used to it after a while.
Hey? Yes.
All right. We are live.
Hello. I mean, g'day.
Yeah, that's right. Get it right. We got to get all the stereotypes right.
Yeah, well, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just reaching for the bathroom. Yeah, there is. I suppose you should know that.
Paul Hogan this up as much as possible.
Well, yeah, it's a well-documented thing that when Australians speak to Americans, we just can't help being a bit more Aussie than normal. G'day, mate. How are ya?
You can pull out a really big knife and show me what a proper knife is?
No, I can't do that, mate. Australia.
Oh, yeah, it'd be documented. The Gestapo would be at your front door.
Yeah. I've got one somewhere.
Don't say that out loud.
Yeah. No, I've been relegated to the garage, as you can see, because we've got kids in the house playing Xboxes and what have you, and it's very noisy.
Xbox. These kids these days, they don't know how to live right.
Yeah. Oh, well, I only just got an Xbox One. Now there's a new one, apparently. But, yeah. Anyway.
You looking at the comments, trying not to get distracted.
Hey, I don't know. I was actually just trying to look at how I do that. I can't see any of the comments.
I have no idea what it looks like on your end, so I couldn't tell you. There's a thing on the right on my screen that says like comments, banners, etc. I would assume click comments.
I'm gonna send you a photo. Nah. Oh, hang on, mate. Hang on.
I can also like click on them and put them up there, and I think that should.
There we go. G'day, Angelo. Hi, g'day, Monica. How do we pronounce Gareth properly? Well, you'd say Gareth, I suppose, wouldn't you? That's what I'd do.
Amanda, she's so PC.
Hey, David. Good to see you, mate. Anyway, yeah, I won't get distracted by the comments at all.
It's hard. I do it myself sometimes.
Mate, no, they're not distracting at all.
It's funny too because like when we talk, there's probably a 10-15 second delay between what we say and then when they actually see it. So we'll be talking about something and be on to the next subject, and somebody's asking a question or something.
Yeah, because the shows I've watched actually, the comments are a bit out of sync, I suppose.
Yeah, well, Monica, that's how I was pronouncing his name too, and I just I don't know. If it was wrong, I didn't really care.
Yeah, I find pretty much most people are pretty, because even Jimmy Wisman on Crime in Sports, Small Town Murder, he pronounced my name correctly, which I was not expecting. So it's more so the spelling. Everyone gets the spelling wrong. They want to put a couple of extra R's or a couple of extra A's in there. But yeah, whatever. It's just a name. It's a Welsh name originally.
I think people get confused by it there because it looks kind of similar to Garrett, and I think they're trying to like put that together in their mind. They're trying to draw that connection, but it's not. It's not jiving because the letters aren't right.
No, I get it, especially with older people and people who are hard of hearing. I'll go, "G'day, I'm Gareth." They're like, "What, Darren?" I'm like, "No, Gareth." Well, Garth. Oh, whatever. Just call me whatever. Okay, whatever.
Don't be a Darren. Amanda wants to know if it's summer down there yet. Oh, we were just talking about that before we started.
Yes, it is. It is. No, summer will be technically the 1st of December here, but essentially, yeah. So in the last week, we've had a couple of heat wave days where it hits kind of high 90s. Today, it's like mid 80s, beautiful, sunny skies, hardly any wind, just absolutely as good as you could hope for. But within a month or two, it will be hell on earth, and we're talking like 100, 110 Fahrenheit, stinking hot humidity. But yeah,
You gonna set the whole place on fire again this year?
It's a subtropical city, so. But,
I guess we should probably start with where exactly are you in Australia?
So Brisbane is. So when you look at the map of Australia, on the right hand side, you got the big curving thing. Most of you guys must know. You've heard about the Great Barrier Reef.
I can bring up a map if you want.
Oh, that'd be handy. Yeah, but we're on the east coast, basically halfway up. Kind of basically the most easterly point of the Australian mainland. So I don't mean I'm biased, obviously, but I feel like it's a pretty good place to be.
You are in Queensland, correct?
Yeah, in Queensland, southeast Queensland is.
All right, let's see. Where's my screen share? Here. Do that.
So I live in a suburb of Brisbane City. Oh, hang on, he's pulling stuff up. There it is. I live in that country. Yeah.
So you said the easterly part.
Yeah, mate.
So here's Queensland right here, QLD. So you're on like this little peninsula right here?
Mate, go down a bit. Yeah, it's not a panhandle. Get calm down. That's an island. Zoom in on that. Zoom in on that, mate. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is an island.
All right. Now, where you see the border of New South Wales, keep going. Just
right here where it says Brisbane?
That's me, mate.
All right. So everybody's scoring at home. He is right here.
Yeah. So you'll see below us we have the Gold Coast, and above us we have the Sunshine Coast. So, because Brisbane is actually on a massive bay called Moreton Bay, so we're like the bay city, and then above us you have the sunny coast with all the surf beaches. Below us, Gold Coast with all the big high rises and surf beaches. So it's all kind of one city that's not really separated by all that much. We're going to join up into like a big, it's all kind of the same thing. But I tell you what, it's a cracking place to live, mate.
It's the only country in the world where everything is trying to kill you.
Oh, they say that, mate. They say that, and it is. It is for the most part. No. I mean, I spent how old am I for? So I've been surfing for 25 years, thousands upon thousands of hours.
Do you flush your toilets the wrong way? I'm going to need you to elaborate. How do they flush their toilets the wrong way?
Amanda, yes, that is. With the old school toilets, I think you guys have a different style of toilet in America to us. So yes, in the northern hemisphere, water swirls a different direction to the southern hemisphere, but the way our toilets flush, they don't swirl. So, but yeah, it is true. So like, say if you fill up your sink full of water up in certainly in North Carolina where you are, Nick, if you fill your sink with water and pull the plug out, the water will swirl a certain direction as it empties.
Oh, yeah, I forget what the name of that.
I can't remember what that's called. And so obviously in Australia it swirls the other way, but because you've grown up with it just doing it that way, you don't
It does prove that, though.
But it certainly proves that the Earth is in fact a sphere and spinning, unlike our flat Earth friends, I think. Because apparently I'm near the boundary down here, so the ice wall.
It's called the Coriolis effect.
Coriolis effect, yes.
Yes.
So anyway, it's short answer, Amanda, no. Toilet water just goes down the toilet, mate.
Yes, it's called the God. Piss. That is hard to say. Starts with a C. Just look it up. Type it into Google. COR, and it'll pop up.
Yeah, I've run across it in like Arthur C. Clarke science fiction books.
You're gonna do a Subaru commercial. I think is that all that David knows about Australia?
What, Subaru? That's a
It's a car.
Yeah, that's a Japanese brand.
Yeah, but think about the Subaru Outback, like the Australian.
Oh, yeah. I suppose they really went hardcore, kind of trying to market. They've done pretty well in Australia, and I think it was because they do the all-wheel drive, and we've got a lot of as soon as you go 3-4 hours outside of a major city in Australia, it's dirt roads. So I think the all-wheel drive slightly higher vehicle aspect made it really attractive to Australians, and especially most of them over here. I think they're like a 2.5 turbo, like a big 4-cylinder. So in terms of towing, nothing too hefty, but like your average RV, well, we call them caravans over here. But anyway, in terms of towing one of them, yeah, Subaru can't go too far wrong, mate. Just don't have one over 150,000 Ks because they're unreliable as hell after that. That's all I know.
150,000 miles or
That
kilometers.
Oh, yeah. So what? About 80,000 miles or so. You don't want.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you don't want.
Because kilometer is 2.2 miles, so or 2.2 kilometers equals a mile. So yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
About 75,000, 80,000 miles.
Hang on, no. A mile is 1,500 meters. Yeah.
Now we gotta convert it from kangaroo hops.
Damn it, Jack. Nick, I've been pretty good. Like when I've been messaging you with like temperatures and stuff, I'm pretty good at just converting.
Okay. So 1 kilometer equals 0.62. So
okay, yeah, no, you're dead.
150,000. Yeah, it's like 93,000 miles.
Well, there you go.
You just multiply by 0.6.
Gareth does a good Australian accent. Thanks, mate.
What does Gareth mean in Welsh?
Strong, silent one.
Oh, they got that one wrong.
Yeah, so it comes from the Welsh name Gwared, I believe. That was one of the knights on the Round Table was named Gwared as well, apparently. But essentially it just means strong and silent one. I don't know how accurate that is. I'm reasonably strong for my size, but I do talk a lot of shit. So.
So let's see. What other Australian jokes?
Did he just say I look like Paul Hogan?
He did.
Bloody hell, David. You're lucky. I think your dogs are just amazing, and they're just wonderful looking creatures, and obviously very happy, which means you, by extension, must be a decent person because you're the one keeping them alive. So you must be decent. So I'll hold that. I'm just kidding, mate.
We like David. Okay. Oh, by the way, David, welcome to the fucking show. Sorry, we had to get that out of the way. We've decided that's his new greeting.
Oh, good on. Welcome to the fucking show, David. Good to have you here, mate.
Yeah, if you guys are wondering, Jay could not be here tonight. He's got something that he's got to deal with, so it's just going to be me and Gareth. I know it was supposed to be all three of us originally, but it's just not working out, so.
Can't see Angie. Sorry, my son's asking for Christmas. Not chips.
Now, does he look like Paul Hogan as well?
Well, my son? Liam, come here, mate.
I guess we better ask David, huh? He's the Paul Hogan expert.
Alright, okay. Come around here, son. Jump in come around here when you get Yep. Get in the shot. Alright. Look at the camera, look up here. Hang on. Look there. Step over a bit. There you go. Right there. What do you reckon, guys? Does he look like Paul Hogan? Right? No, just look up there. Anyway. Yes. Big blue eyes. All right, there you go, son. And he's after some. All right, get out of here, bud. So anyway, no, I don't think we all look like Paul Hogan. I've always thought I'm more of a David Bowie myself.
If you say so.
Nah, whatever.
I don't know.
Oh, Liam is a cool fisherman. Yes, he is.
You're all British to me.
Who said that? What?
I said that.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was on the comments. Yeah, no, we really. I don't know. It must be a perspective thing, I suppose. Like, because we are a colony of Britain, but it's really. If you don't
have
watch
the Queen on your money.
Yeah, well, only on the $5 note, mate. And
You're
a
British.
petition. There's been a petition for a while to get rid of that. I mean, it's all on all the coin. Damn it! Actually, it is on all the coins too. Shit. Yeah. Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to say though is like in terms of day-to-day relevance, in terms of relevance in your day-to-day life in Australia, they have absolutely no input whatsoever. Like we did have a referendum about 12 years ago to say, do you want to become a republic and have a president? And and I think the population at the time was still full of so many. We call them baby boomers, so the generation who were
came after World War II.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody coming home from World War II.
Exactly. Yeah,
made a lot of babies.
Yeah, and because their parents had instilled in them this bond with the, because we fought together in the war, which I really thought, well, certainly in terms of World War II, I thought the Americans and what they did in the Pacific were much more influential in terms of deciding what the future was going to be like here in Australia. But anyway, that's a different thing. But yeah, that's why I think there was this bond still, so everyone voted to bloody stay part of the Commonwealth, which I wasn't very happy about because I was like a mid-20s young bloke going, yeah, president, we're going to be a Republic of Australia, yeah. That's how America did it. Let's do it. But anyway, so yeah.
It's funny that you bring up World War II. I was actually watching the Imitation Game before, when I got home before we started this. So,
oh, okay.
Which, for those that don't know, is about cracking the German Enigma.
Wow, the Enigma
encoder.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Bunch of Polish people helped out too.
Yeah. Monsters.
Yeah, monsters. Absolute subhumans. Can't stand Polish people. Anyway, yeah, what can you do, eh? They're further away from. Oh no, they're probably about the same distance away from both of us. But anyway, yeah, no, I've been watching a really quite a confronting and graphic documentary. It's called Hell in the Pacific, and it kind of just documents from Pearl Harbor through to the occupation of Japan. What?
I think you knocked your microphone out of your too far away. We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, hang on. How's that?
Much better.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it documents like what the Americans did in the Pacific and just how close Japan came, if not for the Americans, to basically being on my front doorstep, and who knows what would have happened. So, yeah.
You'd be speaking a whole different language.
Well, yeah, and probably wouldn't have any cats. Oh, sorry, is that too much?
I think that was China, not Japan.
Sorry, it was too. Same but different. But we don't really like China over in Australia. They're our biggest trading partner, but we don't trust them as far as you could throw them. So, yeah.
You guys are so much like America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, certainly, in terms of like growing up in Australia, obviously, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of what you guys would be interested in, but like growing up, most of my stuff is influenced by like all the shows, TV shows and shit you guys would have watched growing up. Same over here, really. Where like a lot of people call us Little America because in terms of our media content and movies and TV shows and everything we watch, it's like everything you guys like, we like.
Gotcha.
So it's
we could make Australia our 51st state. That would be a big ass state, David.
Yeah, well, we're bigger than Texas. I can tell you. But it's funny though, like, because when you try and draw comparisons, like, I don't know, with like COVID or like the demonstrations and protests you guys have over there, I feel like, because people here in Australia, we see this crap they put in the media and they try and draw generalizations or draw parallels between the two countries, and we have similar cultures, but in terms of people, it's like how many we've got about 24 million. How many you got?
313 million.
There you go. And so when
and
people
some change.
So then that's why I take everything in our media with a grain of salt, because I'm like, well, we can't. It's like, well, in that Pacific documentary, the guys in the front line, they say if you weren't within 100 meters of the front line, you don't know what it was like, and you can never understand, and we can't explain it to you. And I think people forget it's that similar different countries. Like they're like, oh, what are all these Americans, taking off their masks and protesting and violence and shit? I'm like, yeah, but we don't have that many million fucking people in the world. It's like I think we get it pretty lucky here because I mean, in my entire region, there's maybe 2 million people within 1,000 k's of me.
In my county, which is a fairly rural county, there's probably 10 million people within the county.
There you go. So attempts to,
and that's one county in North Carolina, which has 100
Exactly.
counties.
So for people over here where I am to look at what we see on the media and go, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that. Why aren't they? I'm like, well, you don't know because you can't even understand. I can't understand what it would be like to live in an area smaller than a third of the size of my state with 10 million people in it. It blows my mind, eh?
Yeah, it's funny that you said, like you can't compare these two things.
No, well, the problem is that's what I agree, Nick. Like they are so incredibly comparable because of the cultural similarities, but then when you hit you
get to the brass tacks, the
actual physical, the demographics and everything, well, no, it's not. It's just not good. It's just too much of a difference. But I don't know.
But it's funny comparing the people because as you were saying that, I was thinking about, so I live out in this, like I said, fairly rural. I mean, it's starting to become more and more urbanized, which I don't care for personally. But I work in Charlotte, which is a pretty major city. It's one of the largest ones on the East Coast anyway, or larger, I'll say.
Yeah, I had a look at it. It's a couple of hundred, 700,000 people. So it's a decent sized city.
It's probably bigger than that. I don't know what the population is, but
you would say that.
Yeah. Everything's bigger in Texas. I don't know what it means.
We have that saying over here too, and we don't know what it means either, mate.
Okay.
Not a clue.
But it's funny. So I do a lot of work inside of Charlotte. So I travel into Charlotte, people talking to customers like, oh, where do you live? And, oh, I live out here. And they go, oh, what do you do out there? And I'm like, what do you mean? What do I do? Whatever I want.
Have space.
Yeah.
Have space to move.
Walk out on my back deck and do whatever the hell I want back there. Like, what do you mean? What do I do? And then, but it's funny because, I talk to people that live around me and coworkers and stuff like that. Pretty much none of us live in the city of Charlotte. And, they go, what do those people in the city do? And I'm like, I have no idea. Because they all live in condos and apartments and crap like that. And, it's just funny to hear you say that because that's what I was thinking about when you were going through it was just, this whole idea of like the one side looking at the other side going, what do they do in Australia? What the hell is there to do? Like, well, they do whatever the hell they want. Yeah.
What are you? Sorry, my son is. What are you up to?
See, if this were America, he could have a slingshot.
Yeah. Well, he'd have an air rifle, wouldn't he?
Depending on where you live, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I had air rifles when I was younger, but now even those are very hard to get.
I got my first pellet rifle.
There you go. That's Liam giving you a thumbs up.
Oh, sweet.
Good on you, mate.
It's definitely better than what I got from Angie.
Liam, you got ice cream all over your face, mate. Can you go and wash up, please? Thank you. Is it milk? Whatever it is, go on. Thank you. So,
it's gonna correct you.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, whatever the white stuff all over you. Oh no, let's not. Anyway.
Whoa, let's not answer that.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know what else has come over and visit. I'm sure it would be hard to understand, but I believe with an open mind you could like it and adjust to it. Oh, I think so too. I mean, we're all. Well, I mean that the other group I'm in with Nick is the one where everyone posts shots of dinner. What they're having for dinner.
What's up, Dinner Mook? We'll give them a shout out. They're pretty cool.
Yeah. And some obviously some of them I'm like, wow, that's some weird American stuff, but I'd still probably eat it. But for the most part, I'm like, it's same but different. Really, where our cultures are so similar. probably a little bit less racial tension in Australia at the moment, but then that also depends on where you go. You know,
I don't know
which
that
I
there's
imagine
necessarily.
is
I don't
what's
know
it?
that there's necessarily as much as you hear about.
Well, that's the thing as well. You're right, Nick. I agree. Like, I think what our media is portraying, because the only reason I say that is because that's what I see.
Right.
But I think that's isolated incidences which make good television, because there's people throwing pyrotechnics and bloody tear gas and crap. Then obviously that gets better ratings. That's what I see in Australia. So like, that's why I was saying, yeah, I take everything with a big grain, especially the more I talk with you, Nick. I'm like, well, we're not wildly different at all.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I tend to ask you a lot of questions about certain things that you see and what the optics of this country is in your country, just because I'm curious. You moved your microphone again. Wait for it. No, we can't hear you. Did you mute it or something? Oh boy. Oh, we got to figure this out. There's like a hiss coming through now. Is it unplugged? Can you plug it in or something? That was loud. No, we. Oh, hang on. You're muted on my end. It says your mic isn't connected. This is great TV right here, is figuring out how to get a microphone plugged back in. Well, it's plugged back in, but we still can't hear you. I don't have any settings on this. Nope, you unplugged it again. It's got to be something right there on your headset. It's plugged back in now, but we still can't hear you. I swear, if we didn't have audio issues on this channel, we wouldn't have anything. Still no audio. You didn't change your settings in your computer, did you? Oh, he's going to have to restart his computer or something. I'm going to be standing here talking to myself for like 5 minutes while he does this. I guess sitting. I'm not technically standing. Oh, I think he picked up his phone. He's texting me now. Need help. Can't figure out how to plug in microphone. Yeah, he's got to restart his computer. Oh, wait a minute. Here she comes with another headset. We may have averted this crisis yet. What did you do? Like, how many of you does it take to plug in a microphone over there?
All right, how about now?
Oh, we can hear you. That was good. That made for good TV content.
Thanks, guys. Apparently, okay, the microphone boom unplugs, which I didn't know it did. I just assumed that the whole unit was one piece.
Well, you assumed wrong.
Yeah. Yes, you can say hi. God damn it. Right.
Hi, Nick. I'm Tony. I'm the one Garrison talks about.
I've never talked about you.
Yeah, I've never heard anything about him.
Leave. That's Angie's younger son. That's my partner, Angie. That's her younger son, Toby.
Oh, geez, don't let her see this one. You'll never hear the end of it.
I kind of came out in the garage so that everyone wouldn't be annoying me. And what happens? They all come to me. But apparently, I accidentally unplugged the. Anyway, we're good to go again. What were we talking about?
I don't know. Something about how we're going to take the country over.
Yep. I'm looking. Yeah. Good. Goodbye. Yep. Yes, that's your teddy bear. Thanks. All right, everyone leave. Everyone leave. Thank you. God damn it. Sorry, it's a bit of a... Shut the door, the cats will get out.
Oh, see, we're learning other things. They do have cats in Australia.
God. All right, and this... Yep, that's Miles. Okay, that's Angie's elder son. Say hi, Miles. That's Nick in North Carolina there, mate.
Wow, I didn't realize I had so many followers in Australia. I thought it was just you.
No, they're all into it. Apparently, they must be watching the other. All right, get it. All right, go. Yep. No, you're done. You've had your moment in the sun. Okay, it's time to leave. Thanks, mate.
Well, David's enjoying it if no one else is.
Where's David? Oh, we could make Australia our 51st state.
It might not have popped up on your side yet. Sometimes it takes a second.
Actually, yeah, with the comments, I think I said that, in the comments when I was watching last live show, it was it's about a 4-minute delay to Australia with the actual text comments.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, oh, mate, come on. Jeez. We got here in bloody wooden ships, mate. You're lucky.
It was also, what, 1500 when you got there?
Oh no, 1788, mate. That's when
Really?
That's when old mate Captain Cook sailed up the east coast and discovered Australia. I think people already knew it was there, but yeah. And then really, Brisbane certainly didn't get settled until we're talking 1800, mate. So we got less than 250 years of actual. Liam, and what are you doing, mate? All right, get out of here. Go on, bud. Love you.
Well, it's only, 20-some-odd thousand miles to England from where you are?
Yeah.
By ship, anyway.
Yeah. So, about 6 months. Well, on a sailing ship, I think you can do it in a cruise liner in less than a month. But,
yeah, probably.
But,
how long did it take that Captain Phillips guy to get there? He went through Somalia.
Oh, yeah, ages, mate. And then he went the stupid way, down through the southern part of Australia, where it's really not good weather down there. It's a kind of equivalent to certain parts of it, equivalent to passing below the southern tip of South Africa. You know, Cape Horn?
Oh,
one of the most dangerous places you could hope to sail a ship through, and sailing around the southern end of Australia is not far off it. Same kind of thing. You get all the big storms.
It's not Cape Fear, is it? No.
I think it's Cape Hope.
It's something like it. It's some little.
It's definitely a Cape.
Word.
Definitely a fucking Cape.
Yeah, he went between Somalia and the Middle East and all that over there, and past Mogadishu. Actually, the whole Black Hawk Down incident, and that's where the pirates picked him up. Yeah,
and then he ended up from here. Then he ended up kind of heading back up into the Papua New Guinea, that kind of stuff, and he was killed by natives because for some reason they don't appreciate weird white blokes sticking a flag in the sand and saying they own the entire island. I don't know. They didn't seem to like that. I don't know why.
Well, good for them.
So I don't know what it was.
Cape Horn, that's what it is.
Cape Horn, there. The Horn. Damn it. Of course, the Horn. Thank you, David.
And Zach. Bermuda Triangle. That's off the coast of Florida.
That's we don't want to talk about Florida. Jeez. Come on.
Oh, no.
I think that's the one American thing actually that isn't exaggerated. That we're like, oh, Florida is that crazy. It really is.
Well, there's a local radio show that they do a little game every day called "It Happened in Florida," where you guess the crazy story that came out of Florida.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Angie's just stealing my Vegemite. Oh no, I got that on the channel.
I didn't know the Kiwis ate Vegemite.
No, they don't. They eat Marmite, which is.
I thought they were like along the lines of the Polish there.
Oh.
Subhuman beasts.
Look, I don't know if they're that bad.
Are they literate?
But, barely. Hang on, she's coming back now. Now you've opened up a can of worms here, Nick, because that's
definitely
Marmite.
not solving the.
That's basically
the
what Marmite tastes like. So that's New Zealand's Vegemite. Yeah. Marmite.
How many mites do you guys have?
Well,
we got like
really?
bed bugs, and that's it.
Well, I mean, Vegemite is. I don't know why you'd go past it and even consider anything else. Ow, that's made out of glass, babe. Yeah, jeez.
It's just great product placement. I wish we were sponsored by either of those companies right now.
So do I, actually. Yeah, it's disgusting. And the funny thing is, it's made by an Australian company. Anyway.
New Zealand.
Yeah, sanitarian.
Vegemite is beer yeast, brewer's yeast, isn't it?
Hang on, it says it on the jar. Concentrated yeast extract. Made from yeast grown on barley and wheat. Apparently. There you go.
Okay.
I don't know. It just tastes incredibly. It's like a savory, kind of almost beef tasting kind of thing. And
that's what I've heard it compared to, is like a beef bouillon cube, like you would put in a stew.
Yeah. We call them stock cubes over here, but I think we're talking about the same thing. Bouillon cube, stock cube, same thing. Yeah, basically, if you cram the stock cube into your mouth, you'll get the same experience as a teaspoon of Vegemite. So, like when I make a spaghetti bolognese, I'll add like a half a teaspoon of Vegemite just to give it a little bit of extra kind of beefy kick.
Some sauce from a jar.
No sauces from jars, Nick.
So what is the Marmite?
It's basically exactly the same thing. So let me look at this. So I've got that there. That's. Does it have a blurb? Yeah, so concentrated yeast extract, and it's basically like a yeast extract from barley, the yeast that grows on barley and wheat. I don't know, mate. I think if I really understood what it was, I probably wouldn't eat it. So
this is like don't ask what's in a hot dog. It sounds like
exactly. Yeah. It's all the hooves and trotters off the cutting room floor.
Yeah, pretty much. It's everything that's not suitable to make dog food out of.
Exactly. Yeah. So, although while I'm on here, I would like to dispel some myths about Australia if I could.
Everybody isn't Supercar Blondie and Paul Hogan?
No, definitely not. No.
That's unfortunate.
But I don't know.
She's the only Australian female that I could come up with.
Fair enough. But so, for example, koalas. Your average Australian, if they live anywhere near a major city, their average Australian will spend their entire life and probably never see a koala in the wild ever. They're incredibly. They're
endangered, aren't they?
Yeah, they are endangered. I mean, there's still a bloody fair heap of them, but they're just one of those animals that the way they sit very still in trees and don't really tend to move around much. Like your average Australian has never seen a wild koala. I've seen like 3, I think, and I've lived in the bush all my life. So I wanted to dispel that myth. We're not all going around like the whole cuddle a koala shit. That's the tourist stuff that we do at the zoos. Because
they're mean, aren't they?
Well, they're not mean. They're just a bit docile and stupid, and they obviously have very powerful, sharp claws because they're lazy as fuck, but they spend all their day in trees, so they need to anchor themselves into the trees. And so the claws are pretty vicious. And then they don't drink water because they don't come they only very rarely come down from their trees, so they don't drink liquid water. So they only get their water or moisture from the leaves that they eat. So a byproduct of that is the most concentrated and stinky urine you have ever smelled in your entire freaking life. You know when a koala is anywhere near you because it's the worst smell you've ever smelled. Like it's disgusting. Like, so I thought that's a fun fact that you guys probably don't know about koalas. You think they're these cuddly things. They're not. They smell like crap and they're nasty. I don't like them.
Well, people think raccoons are cuddly, fun creatures too.
Oh, I think they look so cool.
They do look cool, man, but they're mean.
Oh, mate, I want a pet raccoon. They look cool.
Most of them are. If you see a raccoon, it's more than likely, odds are, there's a good chance that it's rabid.
Ah, okay. Well, yeah, I'm not so much into that. I have heard that's a bit of a thing over there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like they're like something like the number 3 most most likely animal to give you rabies or something like that.
Oh, crikey. Raccoons are in the bear family.
Amanda, I am not surprised that you had a pet raccoon. Your crazy life, it's the least surprised thing I could possibly hear you say.
I'm actually pretty jealous of you right now, Amanda. I don't know. I've just seen YouTube videos and I think they look pretty fucking cool myself. So
they do look cool. I mean, like, I would love to have one.
Yeah, I do tend to swear. I don't know if you've noticed, but part of the Aussie vernacular is we do swear quite a bit.
His name was Bandit. That is you couldn't have come up with a better name for a raccoon than Bandit.
Oh, God.
See, you had something cool and you ruined it.
Remember that movie Smokey and the Bandit, though? Was that... Oh, jeez, who was in that?
That was Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds, that's the one. That was a classic when I was growing up over here. That shows you
how
know
what you know what that was about? That was about smuggling Coors beer across the Mississippi because for whatever reason there was a law in America that up until fairly recently, I think it was like the 70s, sometime in the 70s. Somebody out there can probably tell me what the year was exactly, but up until then, you could not get Coors beer on the east side of the Mississippi. So that was the whole movie, was he was smuggling it across.
Righto. I mean, I've tried Coors. It's all right, you know. Is it that good?
I don't know. Apparently, you're supposed to drink it with pepper or something.
What? No, beer has to be drunk ice cold, nearly to the point of freezing. That's the only way.
Okay, so we know you're not German.
Oh no. And this whole British thing with the warm beer, no. Because as I open a beer, I put the next one. I move the next one from the fridge into the freezer. So then, by the time I finish the one I'm currently on,
okay, you got a system.
The next one is nearly frozen, but not quite, and that's how beer has. For me, that most Aussies has to be as ice cold as you can possibly get it.
Well, it's 128 degrees there.
Exactly. I mean. Like Savo, this afternoon, I'm going to mow my yard, and when you come in after mowing, and it's going to be about 35, so about 90, about low 90s by later this Savo when I mow my lawn, and when I come in, I need that beer to be nearly solid. There.
Well, you might want to trace your roots back there, David. I think you may, in fact, have some German in you.
He drinks Coors warm. I'm sorry, David. I've pretty much liked everything you put out there on Facebook since we've become friends, but I can't. No, mate. Can't
endorse that.
We are going to have differences there, mate. Warm beer.
Well, according to Facebook law, you can no longer be friends with David because you've disagreed on something.
Yes. Yeah, we have to have a feud now. I'll have to report him to
be very Hatfield and McCoy.
Oh dear. So what is there anything else? Well, because obviously the majority.
I don't know. You said facts about, or you wanted to dispel myths. I was assuming there was another one you were going to get to.
Okay. Well, for starters, everything's out to kill you, but everything is also used to living in a very harsh environment where it's used to hiding from anything else that might try and kill it. So basically like all these poisonous snakes and shit that we have that everyone goes on about. When you walk into, I grew up in the bush, run around in bare feet, so all you do is make noise. They don't want anything to do with you. So if you sneak up on a snake, sure, it'll bite you because you scared the crap out of it. But you make noise and go, I'm a human blundering my way through. So like certainly the everything will kill you. In Australia, for us, it gets a bit old after a bit because we're like, it really doesn't. Like we don't take precautions with anything, and we're not dead.
Yeah, that's right. I don't take any precautions about anything either, and the safety guys at work keep telling me I'm going to die, and here I am.
Well, I mean, I'm what we call the WHOSO at work. I'm the workplace health and safety officer, so I've done my 2-week course or whatever. Blah blah blah. And look,
sounds intense.
I'm well. Apparently, I'm there to if I need to, I have the authority to shut the entire site down. I've determined a safety hazard that hasn't been addressed properly. We stop work until it gets fixed. Obviously, I've never done that because I simply don't pay enough attention and care very little about my fellow workers. Because they're a bunch of assholes.
You sound like me. I care very little about most of the people I work with.
Yeah. So, we have...
He's going to hurt himself. Yeah, well, and if I stop him, he won't learn.
No, in my industry, they'll like someone will fall out the back of their truck, and then we'll have a meeting, and I've got to go because I'm the health and safety officer. Like, what can we do to minimize that? And I said, well, we can tell him to not be a fucking idiot and fall out the back of his truck. That's probably step one.
Step one: use the ladder next time. All right, Evan's got a question here that I'm curious about. I'm going to put it up on the screen because I know how to do that now.
Yeah.
He wants to know what swooping season is.
Yeah, so I actually got
magpies. I do know about magpies.
Yeah, so we're just hitting the end of the season now. They've mostly had their babies. So he's talking about magpies, which are a black and white bird, about
I'll get you a picture.
Probably about as high as if they were standing on the ground, they're about as tall as a beer bottle, right? And they probably weigh 1.5 kilos, 2 kilos. Decent sized bird, and they become extremely aggressive during mating season when they start nesting, especially when their eggs are in the nest before when they've hatched as well, actually. And they will literally just keep on. They'll kind of keep a watch around wherever the hell their nest is, and if you get in that vicinity, they will go up and then dive down as hard as they can, and they will try and bite your ears. They'll try and get your eyes. No, that's an American magpie. You need to Google Australian magpie, Nick. So that is a complete... Yeah, no, that's a complete pussy compared to an Australian magpie.
Hang on. Oh, why did you do that?
No, that's the wrong one too. Australian. Yep, there you go.
Too.
Well, if you do Magpie Attack, it'll show people what it does. Yeah, that's them there. So they've got a real sharp beak. Yeah, so they're a carnivorous. They take like insects, lizards, that kind of stuff. So very sharp beak, designed for kind of.
Look at this guy. I like this guy here. That's like mean mugging everybody. I mean, you could tell by the look on his face. He means business. Yeah, they are aggressive beyond belief, and they will literally just keep on, just going for your head, just smashing, like literally smashing into your head. And then once they've impacted, you'll feel their claws and their beaks scrabbling to try and rip off anything they can before they take flight, and then come in again 10 seconds later. If you're on a bicycle, it's that's what I'm seeing here. I just Googled Magpie Attack, and they do not like bicycles. I mean, look, there's a guy here or a gal. There's a guy over here getting attacked by one.
And
down
so that's
here, right there.
Yeah. So I've had one attack this year, where I was just walking across a park, and one just came out of nowhere and put a big slash like at the bottom of my earlobe, right there, so blood all down the side. But I mean, that's all they do, and
And you were dumb enough to put a bird feeder in your yard after that.
Well, they're carnivorous, Nick, mate. They're not going to eat the seed. But yes, good point. I guess that's just an Australian thing you get used to. It's just this certain period in kind of early to mid-spring anywhere you walk where there's trees where there might be a magpie nest, expect to be really viciously attacked. And like you can run away for like half a kilometer and they'll follow you and just they just won't stop. They are evil.
So, definitely start shooting the birds. they
yeah,
can't own guns.
Also, all native species of birds in Australia are protected, and it is illegal to shoot a protected species. So it's a jailable offence to shoot a magpie, unfortunately.
So we've got Canadian geese here, and one of the sites we take care of, they're really aggressive. They nest all over it. And the one guy that works with me actually got in trouble because he kicked one because it came up and it was attacking him and hitting him and stuff. And he just kind of like, not like, not like football punted it or soccer kicked it or anything like that, but just kind of gave it a little tap to let him know, leave me alone. And next thing he knows, he's up in the, I don't know, the guy's got some crazy title, environmental specialist something or another, and he's like, you can't go kicking them.
No, it's the same over here. Like you can be bleeding from several open wounds on your face and head, and yet if you then swat it out of the sky, well, you can be arrested for that and charged, with cruelty to animals, I suppose, whatever it is. But I mean, once it reaches a point, once it's because that's all I ever did is I just on my bicycle when I was growing up, I just had a length of wood that I'd stuffed down the side under the saddle, and when one started swooping me, I'd just swing that around my head, just riding along. Get away, you bastard! Humid hot, Jerry. Humid hot, mate.
Monica here already answered that. Keep up.
Oh yes. Jerry, humid hot in Australia. Well, where I am, because we're on the coastline, when you get the wind swing around to the westerly, then it goes really dry heat, and then that's when we get those bushfires you guys see where it sets half of our country on fire. But as long as you're on the weather patterns where the wind is kind of coming in from the ocean side on the eastern side, it gets humid as hell. But for the most, it's a subtropical kind of environment. It's not tropical, not quite. You need to go about another 500-600 k's, 350 miles north of us before it becomes tropical as such. I don't know if that.
So you guys don't really deal with the wildfire thing. I guess not as much as the other side of the country does, I should say.
It's more so down south, Sydney and also Victoria, New South Wales and Victoria, is because the particular species of gum trees that they have down there, the oil, the oil or the resin or whatever in the gum trees, okay, that shit is the same reason California has such bad wildfires. That particular eucalypt oil they have is just insanely flammable. And then once it gets superheated, then you get these fire explosions moving forward ahead of the fire, which makes them so bad. We don't have that species in Queensland, so not as much. So our fires, we still get fires, but nowhere near as bad because these things are just moving walls, like what you guys see with what I've seen here in like Los Angeles and stuff. It looks essentially the same. It's superheated.
Yep.
Eucalypt oil, which is essentially just freaking napalm just barreling through the forest. So
typically what happens here is once you get out to like Arizona, Nevada, California, places like that, like Southern California.
Yep.
Everything in the summertime just gets so dry. And then you'll have a lightning strike or somebody throws a cigarette out the window or a transformer for the power line blow up. And that's usually what sparks the fire off here. Which I'm sure is probably what does it over there too. One bolt of lightning in the wrong spot, and
same thing. And certainly behind Sydney, you've got the Blue Mountains, which is just hundreds and hundreds, thousands of hectares of just rolling mountainous bushland. And so, say if you get a heavy rainfall in the early spring, and then that goes away, and then you have late spring, early summer is all just bone dry, everything's growing up and then dried out, and then bang, they get these firestorms. So I remember when I went to, I flew to England in 1995, and that was just after we had a bushfire down in Sydney. They called it Black Friday, where it killed like 30, 40 people, destroyed thousands of properties. And for the last 20 minutes flying into Sydney, everything was black. Everything around the entire city, just black. Just
We have a similar Black Friday in America. It happens every day.
There you go.
Every year after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
They go and burn down the Walmarts because they only had 5 TVs. Or some shit.
I've seen the YouTube footage of those sales. I think we have them here to the slightly lesser extent. They're not as insane, but
Yeah. So on the wildfire thing, check out. There's a movie called Only the Brave. It's about a wildfire crew out in Prescott, Arizona, which you probably recognize the name of that from Small Town Murder.
Prescott, Small Town Murder, yes.
Yep.
That was pretty recent, actually. That was last week. Hang on. Was it last week or a week before?
I don't think they've done anything on it exactly, but I know they were talking about it a couple weeks ago, something that was going on.
Yeah. No,
All right, we'll answer one more fire question, and then Monica wants to know about some kangaroos. I can hear her screaming in the other room.
Okay, so lightning, yes, a hell of a lot of them, because we do tend to get these storms sometimes, low humidity storms, so no rain in them, but lightning and thunder, and obviously bang, off they go. We do get a distressingly high amount started by firebugs because unfortunately, like the Weather Bureau and everything, they have to advertise, tomorrow's going to be a really bad fire danger day. Like tomorrow's going to be hot, no humidity, dry winds from the wet. Like you've got, it's a catch-22. You've got to advertise that the next couple of days are going to be very dangerous in terms of bushfires, which then tells all the fucking pyromaniacs, oh, tomorrow's a great day to go out and start a bloody fire. So a lot of them, unfortunately, are started deliberately. So to answer that question.
Do you guys do controlled burns over there? Because I know even over here in North Carolina, a lot of people don't realize it, but we do controlled burns even in North Carolina in the summertime.
Probably August, September, there was smoke in the air all the time where I am because we've got Brisbane is kind of on the shores of the bay, and then we've got these mountains behind us, and so all through there they have to backburn and control burns, otherwise come fire season well, plus all the mountains behind Brisbane, that's where all our television studios are and our television towers, so there's a fair bit of money involved in media. So for some reason Mount Cootha, which is the mountain where all the TV towers and everything are, that's always back burning all the way around. And essentially, you have to. Otherwise, I grew up in the bush. It's just something you have to do. You got to burn off. Otherwise, the Aboriginals have been doing it for centuries. So,
well, they seem to have it figured out.
Yeah. So, Monica, you want to know about the kangaroos?
I think that's the most Australian question you can have is about a kangaroo. I want to know, when is my kangaroo showing up? I was promised a kangaroo.
All right. Well, come and catch one, basically.
Box it up and ship it.
So kangaroos are incredibly timid. They're largely nocturnal. They're basically an oversized freaking rabbit. They're a marsupial, but they're more similar to rodents. So I just think like a really, really gigantic rat that eats grass and can jump around. That's a kangaroo. They're very, very timid. They're largely nocturnal, so you don't tend to see them too much during the day. If you do, they'll. Oh, okay. So you won't see them in like average Australia in suburbia. You will not see them. You'll only see them further out in open countryside and farmland and that kind of stuff. And you'll tend to only see them from a distance. They're incredibly common. They're like almost a pest, but at the same time, they're where people aren't, if that makes sense. So the main way you'll see them in Australia is driving along at night time, any road out in the country. the headlights on your car, okay, because they're nocturnal and they have such sensitive eyes, the headlights make them go stupid. And 9 times out of 10, they will jump towards your car and jump in front of you. And even if you slow down and swerve away from them, then they'll change direction and then still jump in front of your car. Like so
Deer do the same thing over here.
Yeah. So I mean, I
Yeah.
bought a brand new car. Spent 20 whatever grand. 3 days later, come over a hill crest at night time. There's a fucking kangaroo in the middle of the road looking at me like a dickhead, and I couldn't swerve. I could because they kind of leap, boing, they go boing, 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 and then just stop dead. And you're like, oh, gone. And that's $2,000 damage on my car. Yay. But yeah, we don't all have them as pets. They're very sorry. I'll try and be more specific. Yeah, they do sound like deer, Monica.
You gotta turn your mic back towards you.
Oh. Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Oh,
I think you just knocked it like away.
It must unplug really. I didn't know that the actual boom unplugged because I don't really.
Well, it's to keep it compact when you're traveling with it.
Oh, cross! I don't know. I know how to put a fishing rod in my boat.
Yeah, deer will actually run into your car here. So a lot of times, even if you stop and there's, you don't actually hit the deer, it's the same thing. They're mesmerized by the headlights and they'll actually run into the car. Or you'll have another one. A lot of times they travel in packs of, 4, 5, 10, whatever. You'll have another one come out of the tree line and run into the side of your car and essentially like T-bone you.
So I think what we're saying is essentially
they're douchebags.
Kangaroos are Australian deers because I've had the same thing. I literally nearly came to a complete stop, and this stupid thing still jumped across into my thing. Oh, hang on. Sorry. I just need to go to my son. I'll be back in 1 minute, okay? I'm so sorry. It's very unprofessional.
All right, no problem.
Might be a second.
Well, while he's gone, I'll do this down here. Where's my button? There's my button. We'll do... Oh, geez. Okay. We are doing a giveaway. I'm going to try and not fudge this one up. Only 9 people seem to sign up. There's everybody's name. Please be aware of where your name is because I'm likely to give your prize away to somebody else if you don't watch. Move that for a second. All right. So we go here, 1 through 9. Generate number 1. What are the odds of it being number 1? Bring my list back up. David Cook, who I know is out there in the chat, please respond so that I do not have to do this again and mess it up like I did last time. I'll hit stop and go back over here so that I can see when David responds because he better still be in the chat. Yes, deer do have a good chance of totaling a car here.
So sorry.
That's all right. I did the little giveaway deal while you were gone.
Oh, yes.
David Cook's name was pulled. He was in the chat before. He hasn't responded yet, but we'll give him another 15, 20 seconds because there is that delay.
All right. Monica, no, we don't specifically have kangaroo collision insurance. Just kind of in your general.
Move your mic in a little bit closer.
God damn this thing.
That thing is sensitive, man.
I think it's the plug at the back here where it plugs into the actual... How's that?
You had it for a second. I think you just got to move it up. Like, bend it.
How's that?
That's pretty good.
Nah, I'm terrible. Yeah, so Monica, no, we call it an excess, so if you have a crash that's, well, obviously if you hit an animal, it's classed as your fault, and so then you've got to pay your excess, so it's a couple $100, and then they pay the damage. Do you have a good chance of totaling a car here? Yeah, I have heard that. I've seen YouTube videos of where deer have come through, and it doesn't look nice. I mean, a decent sized big red kangaroo. So the Western Reds, they're the biggest breed. You're looking at up to 2.5 meters tall and probably 300 pounds. Well over 300 pounds.
2.5 meters. What? Probably about 7.5 feet.
Yeah, they get over
Something
6
like
foot,
that.
6.5 to 7 foot. Like that's a really, really excessively big one, but they do get that big.
Yeah.
But like I said, your average Aussie, if you live 10 miles from the CBD and you work in the CBD and commute back and forth, you'll never see a wild kangaroo. But
Do the last call on David over here. If he doesn't respond, we'll have to give it to somebody else, which gets confusing because last time I had to do that, I gave it to 2 people.
Yeah. Did you end up sending them both? Right?
Yeah, I did end up sending them. Well, Jay was getting the flashlight, so he sent it to Amanda, and then I got a flashlight for Jerry, who was the second person that I pulled. So we made it right with everybody.
Lucky you, Amanda. I wanted that flashlight, and not just because it would have cost Nick so much in postage.
I just sent it. I sent crap.
Hey,
David is here.
Back. He's back.
David, you won the Leatherman, so just send me your info, and I'll get it sent over to you. That guy wins everything, man.
Yeah, I know.
We got to put a handicap on him or something. He won per month.
I'd be pretty upset, but from what I've seen, he seems like a nice bloke, so I can't be too angry. He gave it to Evan. Oh, no, Amanda gave it to Evan. The torch, I assume they're talking about.
Oh, he was taking his dogs out.
Taking the dogs out. Yeah.
That's no excuse.
I don't know. They're pretty cool dogs, mate. I like them.
Yeah, they are. She gave it to Evan. He says he likes the purple flashlight. I don't know. Who am I to judge?
David is super lucky. Yes, he is, Monica. Nick's super lucky.
Amanda had a question before. Where did her question go?
Hang on.
Oh, she wants to know about the wallabies and the dingoes.
Wallabies are just a smaller kangaroo.
That, and it was the focus of Rocco's Modern Life. He was a wallaby.
Yes. Yeah. So, they're just like a smaller version of a. So wallabies get kind of halfway between knee height and waist height, somewhere around about 3 foot mark, I suppose. And they're just a little bit smaller and cuter than kangaroos. Really, that's. And then we have really cute ones called what are they called? Padalon Padalans. They got a really weird name, Padalans, and they're like a miniature kangaroo. They're like, hang on, I can't. Where's my hands? Oh, whatever. They're like that tall. Like they're about that tall, but maybe a little tiny bit bigger. And they kind of live in more like rainforest areas. These little cute things just bouncing around through the. What else? Oh, dingoes. Dingoes are just like really cool looking dogs, but they're a wild animal, so.
It's kind of like a coyote, from what I understand. Like your version of a coyote.
Yeah, it's a completely wild. As much as it looks like a really, really cool dog, it's a really wild animal, and just leave them alone.
I will say that the pictures I've seen of the dingoes is they look a little more, I guess, like well kept than say a coyote, because like a coyote's got like real bushy fur, where the dingo has kind of more like a hair, kind of like a dog has. Yeah,
you're right. They look more domesticated. Certainly.
Exactly.
They've got that short hair kind of coat. But I mean, I've known a couple of blokes who've gotten dingo pups, and basically it's always the same. They get to a certain age, about 1.5 years, or not even that, probably about a year or so, and they're just a wild animal. The wildness comes out. They'll attack other dogs without warning, and if
all right, Jerry, yeah, we will have Gareth back on in the future.
Right, he's got to go to work in the morning.
Yeah, it's what the hell? What's that animal that they're always getting? They always get like ducks, rabbits, in America around Easter. They always get like ducks and rabbits and stuff like that, and then like they get the chicks, the baby chicks, and then the baby bunnies and stuff like that, and then they get bigger, and people do the same thing where they're like, oh, I don't want this. This is a terrible animal to have as a pet.
Yes. Yeah, because a dingo puppy, mate, there's not many cuter things in the entire world. It's along the lines of a German Shepherd, Alsatian puppy. Obviously, they're pretty damn. They're similar to those. They're wonderful puppies, but then once they hit adulthood, their natural instinct kicks in, and they're a predatory animal. So,
Oh, dude, they are adorable.
and
Wait a minute, no,
yeah,
that says dog. What the hell? Fucking Google tonight, man.
I don't know what they're kind of. Their body shape is almost like a bit more of like an angular, muscular golden retriever. Almost kind of. They're a good looking dog.
They do look like really cut. I noticed that about the kangaroos. Going back to them, they look really like.
Oh,
like,
mate, you get a
they
big
work out.
male. They have like ripped.
Yeah, dude,
bicep,
they got like six-pack abs and everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, and that
It makes me
that's
wonder
not,
what I'm doing with my life.
well, yeah. Only you can add. Nah. Who knows, Nick? Who knows? You don't want to be a kangaroo, though, mate. Have you seen the size of their nut sacks? They're like little tiny things.
I don't know. I mean, I maybe
But
that's why
no,
they're so cut.
those muscly ones that you see, yeah, that'll be like the dominant male for for his particular mob.
Oh, okay. So they have like a group or a pack that they.
Yeah, so a group of kangaroos is called a mob of kangaroos, a MOB, mob, the Aboriginal word, which just means a group. But
well, I mean, we have murders of crows here, so.
Oh yeah, we have them too. Yep.
Which
every schoolyard in Australia has a couple of hundred crows.
sounds about right for your kangaroo country that you're living in.
Yeah, or just no one puts anything in the bin. That's what the crows live off.
But David says his dogs may be having pups. Keep us updated on that.
Oh, good on. I'd love to see that, David. They're beautiful dogs, mate.
Should we tell everybody what the ridiculous laws regarding firearms in your country are?
Yeah, go for it. Well, I mean,
you know them better than I do.
Essentially, you can't have one.
It's basically what it boils down to.
Certainly with the new law, so semi-automatic, forget it. Very, very tiny exceptions for the most part. So a pistol, forget it. Semi-auto pistol, definitely forget it. Semi-auto rifle, forget it. So you're talking lever action or double barrel shotguns, a lot of stuff like that. You can get licenses. Probably take you a year and a half to get a license, and then you can get like a lever action or bolt action rifle and do target shooting. But you have to be a member of your local target shooting club. If you're not a member, you can't get a license. Like you have to show. It's not enough in Australia. It's not enough to say, I want to buy a gun because I want to have a gun for like my protection, or that's not enough. That's if you say that, the answer is no, you can't have a gun. So you gotta kind of have, you have to be in a rifle club or incredibly difficult. So, I mean, it's just really to the extent like the average Australian can't really imagine owning a gun. I don't know if that explains it better, but like for me, like I love shooting. I've been shooting. I love guns. I have no problem with them.
Well, you served in the Australian military, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. Well, in the reserves.
Or still are. Or...
Yeah. Well, if we get called up, I get called up, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from you. I don't.
But yeah, like so firing like this. We actually use the Steyr, which is a German. Oh no, sorry, Austrian rifle.
Yeah, it's an Austrian rifle,
semi-auto rifle. I love it. I think it's bloody great. We used to use an SLR before that, which was almost like a World War II era 303, which I love.
Okay, like a 303 Enfield.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, same as like British Army had. Really love those guns. They're really great. The Steyrs. Yeah, they're okay. I do love the fact that you can get any kind of crap all over them, and in about 3 minutes you can strip the whole thing down, spray like underwater. Like it's designed.
It's very similar to like our AR-15, to where it's very easy to take down. You don't need any special parts. You can put it through hell, and it'll keep coming back for more.
It'll take an absolute flogging, and as long as you give it a little bit of respect, then it'll be your friend.
Yep.
So yeah, but then in terms of the general public, most people can't even really conceive of being a firearm owner. It's not really a thing. unless your dad, was into target shooting or in the military or something. Like it's I can't stress just how niche, for the most part, even the desire to own guns amongst the average Australian is, because I just think because we're so spread out, our population is so fucking small. Like even these days, like for home protection and stuff like that, most people just think, nah, it's not. The risk doesn't exist to the extent that I need to arm myself, which I think the government used in their favor to push these fucking crazy laws through, which means now, even if you do genuinely want to have one for the right purposes, it's extremely hard.
So I just did a quick Google search, and it says there's 3 million registered firearms in the country of Australia.
Yeah, that sounds about right. No, mostly it'd be farmers, that kind of stuff.
Compared to, would you say before, 20 million people in the country? So that's barely over 10%.
About 20. I think we're 23, 24 million now. Oh, she's there. Hi, Anne. Yeah, about 23, 24 million.
Yeah, so that's barely 10% of your population. I mean, probably 50% of my neighbors own firearms of some sort.
I'd be.
Actually, it's like 75% of the immediate neighbors that I know of.
You're right there. Oh, okay. So to put it in perspective, I suppose
What the hell's going on there? We're about to have to put this onto a different website.
Yeah, what's Ange?
She knows we can't hear her, right?
What? Oh, yeah. No, she just reminded me of something that I thought. Anyway, long story short, our gun laws they're fucked. They're absolutely crap. And yeah, so what I was going to say is like so on my entire street, there's probably 25 houses. If even one person of them is a registered gun owner, I would be surprised. That's how fairly kind of rare it is over here. Not rare, I suppose, but it's just not a thing. No, it's just not a thing. I don't know how to explain it better.
I just always found that not to beat a dead horse here, but I always found that interesting because you kind of, I know you said before, I don't remember if it was when we were live or before when we were talking before the show about there's this myth, this running thing in Australia about the entire country is trying to essentially kill you all the time with between the heat, the plants that are poisonous, the snakes out there. It seems like gun ownership there makes more sense than it does here.
Yeah, I gotta admit,
if only to protect yourself from the country itself.
Yeah, look, it is willfully exaggerated. Like all these creatures you hear about, yes, they exist, and they exist in massive numbers. But our country is freaking huge, and so I grew up in the bushland, okay, and so in southeast Queensland, the snake that you want to be scared of is called a king brown, and that has a type of neurotoxin that will. You've got about 20 minutes if you're lucky, and that's if you are mobilized straight away. So if you have to run to get help, well, you're less than 5 minutes. And so, yeah, but I grew up in the bush, running around in bare feet. I've seen 3 brown snakes in my entire life. And, each time it was trying to get away from me. So, yeah, all that, the whole country thing trying to kill you, I think is us. I think it's Australians are very much to blame for willfully allowing it to be exaggerated. So we think that we're more hardcore because it's really not that dangerous.
And I mean,
I put myself in dangerous situations all the time because I love being out in the bush. I love being out in my boat. I love throwing myself into the water to swim across to an island through all the sharks. And like, if anyone was going to die from that stuff, it's going to be me, and I haven't. So.
Well, and I mean, so over here in America, you're in grade school coming up, you learn about your countries and stuff like that. This is England, this is Russia, get like 3 trivia facts on every country.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Outside of and they tell you about Australia, and they're pretty much like, oh, it's the smallest continent, but the largest country land wise, it's got weird weather and everything wants to kill you out there. And then you go and you watch Crocodile Dundee and you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's what Australia is like, They eat crocodiles and
yeah. Well, you only get crocodiles in like the northern kind of quarter of Australia. If you draw a straight line straight across Australia, about a quarter, like so, only a quarter of
the
very
Australians just don't want anyone to come over. That's probably it, David.
I think so, mate. Yeah, because it is pretty good over here. Like seriously, within an hour's drive of me, I have rainforests. But I mean, anywhere's the same. Like I'm sure I've seen stuff you put up, Nick. Like places within a couple of hours drive of you in North Carolina are amazing, and I'd give my left testicle to go and visit. So,
we've got the Blue Ridge Parkway, and they a couple weeks ago, if you drive the Blue Ridge Parkway, it's the most beautiful scenery you can imagine because all the trees are changing color.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, see, we don't even have fall over here, mate. It's not a thing.
See, I'm right. I think you are right, David. They're like, if they figure out how good it is over here, they're never going to leave. We gotta tell them everything's trying to eat us.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're like the David Icke of Australia, which is funny because according to David Icke, Australia isn't real.
Oh no, we're not real. I'm being paid to be here. I
Crisis
wish.
actors.
Jeez, so do you think I'd have a 28-year-old two-stroke engine on the back of my boat if I was real?
If I wasn't rolling in the dough?
Have to adjust the carburetors every 5 minutes so the damn thing works. Yeah, no, definitely not getting paid to be here. I do like that, though. I think it's just because we're so far away. Certainly in Australia, you have that very real sense that the idea of going to another country is a huge thing because everything is bloody miles away. And all the stuff that's close, like Papua New Guinea and stuff, it's like, I don't really want to go there. Like those.
Well, you go to New Zealand, where Angie's from.
Yeah, I do want to go to New Zealand actually because I love skiing.
Man, I was teeing you up for that one.
Yeah, I know. No, I won't say.
Well, it's funny that you say that because like my dad, when he was growing up, they used to. See, I'm originally from up north, and they used to go over to Canada and drink because the drinking age there was 18.
Oh, same as here. Yeah.
It'd take them 5-6 hours to drive up there. They get a hotel room, get a cheap hotel room, drink all night, sleep in the hotel room, and then drive back. That
sounds pretty damn good.
But that's not a reality for you. There's no other country to drive to.
No, literally, and like I mean, well, okay, so I'm in Brisbane. You guys have probably all heard of Sydney.
Yep.
So if I drove to Sydney without stopping, without sleeping, without doing anything, you're talking about 22 hours. Maybe if I shave a little bit off the speed limit and just go a little bit faster, you do it in about 20 hours. And that's the nearest big city. So Sydney's about 3 million people, I think.
Let's see. I'm gonna look up how big Charlotte is just for comparison here.
I'm pretty sure Charlotte was around. Or was I might have been looking at Raleigh because when I ask Siri what time is it in North Carolina, she always tells me what time it is in Raleigh for some reason. I don't know why. Hey, that was something I was gonna. So you guys obviously have Siri in America, yeah?
According to this, in 2015, the population was 872,000 people.
Oh, that's pretty big.
But you've got to remember, so we've got all these suburbs right outside the Charlotte city limits that have tons of people too. So
yeah, I mean, we have that as we've got. It sounds like a similar kind of thing, because like we have Brisbane City, but then right near us we have Ipswich and we have Logan, who are also, several 100,000 people cities. Yeah, everything just kind of gloop.
Actually, I'm gonna do this because this will be a better.
What I want to know is, have any of you guys out there, have you heard Australian Siri? Because obviously our Siri is different to your Siri.
Okay, so Mecklenburg County, if you lump in all these tiny little suburbs, which there's about 1 million of them outside, is 1,127,000 people as of 2000. This says 2020. I don't know how accurate that is because the census isn't over yet. So.
Yeah, when did they? Yeah.
So
Well,
let's
I mean,
hear
that's-
Australian Siri. Does she have an Australian accent? If
She sure does, mate.
is it Supercar
Yeah,
Blondie? It better be Supercar Blondie. I'm gonna be disappointed if it isn't.
You know what, Nick? I really wish it was, mate, but it's not.
I'm
It's
told
someone who
she's your
doesn't-
greatest export.
She's pretty amazing, yeah. I mean, she's just a bloody car salesman. Let's be honest, but
She's
she
got
is-
such cool cars, though, man. I mean, you got to think. There's a lot of people that give her crap, but here's the thing: she is selling cars and knows stuff about cars that most people, 99% of the population, will never even see. Not driving down the road, nothing. She's not selling like
and
a Cadillac.
She's used her smarts and her knowledge and experience to get herself into a position where she can do what she's doing, and you gotta respect that. Like, you have to. Like,
Exactly.
she
Did you see
decided what
where she gave the guy that washes cars like an entire year's salary for a tip?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh god, wouldn't it be nice to have that much money? Anyway, yeah. So obviously,
No, I was thinking the same thing.
so yeah, Australia. Okay, so hang on, let me. Hey Siri, can you say hello to my friends in America, please?
I don't see a friend in your contacts. What is your friend's first and last name?
Does that sound different to you guys?
A little bit, yeah. She's got a little Australian accent. I don't.
So
I don't
it's
have my work
actually
phone with me.
it's a woman. Did it come through the microphone? I wasn't sure if it did.
It came through pretty well.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, so it's actually a woman in Rockhampton in Queensland in Australia. They did like a big not
Gareth
like a
has no friends.
Oh, I don't. It's fuck you. You know what it was? It's just bloody Siri being pedantic. You freaking smart ass. Cunt. Anyway,
That wasn't me. That was David. You got to take that up.
I know.
This is the start of the Facebook feud here. You guys disagreed on the beer, and then here it goes.
Okay, hang on. Hey Siri, can you please say hello, Monica? I'm Australian Siri.
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
Sorry, Monica. I tried.
She might sing her happy birthday. Doesn't she do that?
Does she do that?
I think she might. She's got a whole bunch of Easter eggs. Ask her what 1 divided by 0 is. She'll
Hey,
yell
Siri.
at you for not understanding math.
What is 1 divided by 0?
The answer is definitely undefined.
Undefined, mate.
That is the correct answer because you can't define or
No,
you
you
can't
can't.
divide anything by 0.
You can't. Nothing. Anyway, wow.
You can't divide something by nothing. I was always good at math,
You'll be my friend.
despite the fact that I hate it.
Oh, Amanda. So I'm a big fan of the Terminator movies. So in the event that our robot overlords end up taking over, what I do is every time I speak to Siri, I say please and I say thank you. So I hope that when our robot overlords obviously take over, that's going to stand for something, and they're going to maybe, instead of using me as like a human battery, maybe I can work in the fields and, maybe
Be a pet.
just something. Yeah, I just like to think in the robot revolution, it will stand me in good stead. That's why I
See.
do.
I take the opposite stance there. I separate them all and put them in dark rooms and interrogate them.
Okay. Well, that's
It's
pretty
very.
good.
Have you ever seen Zero Dark 30?
Yes, it's one of my favorite movies.
So in the beginning, when the CIA lady is in there and she's watching him, she's watching the other guy, the guy with the big beard and everything, interrogate him. It's a lot like that.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Jeez, I've forgotten about that. That's a pretty extreme scene, that one.
It's gave me a lot of ideas.
No, I love all that. Like Nick, I love war history, mate. So anything
I do
on-
too. I'm
on-
reading the Bismarck, the book about the Bismarck, the German
Ah,
destroyer.
Super destroyer. Yeah.
Yep, Germany's most powerful destroyer, and she went down in like 2
Did a whole
conflicts
lot.
with the
Yeah.
HMS Hood.
Yeah. Propaganda-wise, it was very valuable. Certainly, it gave the British something to think about, but it didn't end up being effective in any way. But, what a ship. I mean, my favorite is Iowa class
Destroyer.
American, destroyers. That is, obviously, everyone knows it as the ship in freaking Under Siege. That one. What a ship. I mean, the Japanese had the,
Hold on.
what did they have? The,
Are you talking about the kamikazes?
No, the class who destroyed the Japanese had two. They were the two biggest and still the two biggest destroyers the world's ever seen.
Check this out. I still have this.
Yamato. I don't know. Japanese.
Yeah, something like that.
You know what I'm talking about, Nick. We've
Check
discussed
this
it
out.
before. They're fucking huge.
I'll see if I can get it to where you can see it.
Patriots Point.
There we go. That is the USS Yorktown. That is about a 3-hour drive from the house. And you can go crawl all over that thing.
I'd give anything to do that. When I was in England, I went to all their naval museums. I went on the Victory, like the ship that Nelson blew. That Trafalgar. No, hang on.
Well, which one is it?
Who's that French prick? Who was that French prick? The little one. The little French dickhead with the
Napoleon?
missing arm. Napoleon! So the Victory is the ship that... The Victory is... Fuck me, I'm getting there. The Victory is the ship that Lord Nelson defeated Napoleon's forces. Damn it, I got it out. Anyway, I've been on that ship. It was bloody incredible. I love all that stuff. Absolutely love it. I just have so much... Anyone who's fought in a major conflict, hats off. A human experience, the likes of which I don't know. I can't imagine because I've never seen combat. But so much respect for all those people. Hey.
Yeah, I listen to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History a lot when I'm at work. I don't know if you listen.
I've just finished the latest episode. So,
oh, okay. The one that I liked that he did was which one was it? Doomsday or the Blueprint for Armageddon, I think.
Blueprint for Armageddon, yes.
Which I think was about World War One, and then going through. Well, it was before World War One, going through that through World War Two, and all the way into the Cold War.
Yeah,
like the start of the Cold War, and
having the capacity for a conflict the size of which that can Armageddon, be Armageddon.
What I liked about that so much was he did everything in World War One and World War Two from the perspective of the Germans, which is a perspective that you never get to see because, the old saying of history is written by the victors. And, you hear, at least in World War One, the position that Germany is in being between Russia and Austria and France and all these other countries and stuff. And it's like, wow, looking at what they're looking at, it does seem almost inevitable that they're stuck in the middle of this war, and one way or another, something is going to happen.
Yeah, that
and
was
they
Hitler's,
need to be ahead of it.
That was Hitler's big thing as well. Is we need space to live. I can't remember the translation into German, but that was the big saying. Space. That was their big thing. Space to live. Space. It was
basically their version of Manifest Destiny.
Yeah. We need to just expand out, but I've just finished the latest episode of Dan Carlin, which is not Apocalypse. It's about the Pacific, and my God, the stuff that happened around the same time as D-Day that never gets any kind of recognition. Where there was a U.S. Marine landing that was bigger than D-Day that happened at roughly the same time that we've never heard of. So,
conflict over in Midway. I mean, a lot of people don't even understand why, why Midway Island is so important, or I guess was so important at the time.
Yeah, no, it was everything, because they couldn't get close enough to the Japanese mainland to make any kind of meaningful difference, and until they could do that, then you couldn't stop Japan. So The fact that
I don't
the
think we ever
Americans-
wanted to invade Japan, though.
Oh well, the problem with the Japanese, oh Christ, that's a whole nother can of worms.
I think
They
it's very similar to Japan did not want to invade America. We did not want to have to invade Japan
No.
because I think both countries realized the loss of life would have been astronomical.
Oh yeah, well, that
And
was
that's
problem.
the blueprint for Doomsday episode where Dan Carlin is talking about
That's
that.
the one. Yes, yeah, exactly. I remember the one.
And what was he saying? Oh, he was talking about Harry Truman. Harry Truman finding out that he's got the atomic bomb and that it's working and that they can drop it. And then, everybody gives him criticism because he killed, whatever it was, a few million people in the blink of an eye with a push of a button.
Exactly.
And, everybody's like, oh, he shouldn't have done that, And then Dan Carlin goes, well, consider this. How many people did not die because of that? Because they're talking projected numbers of invading Japan, upwards of
Well, I mean,
2-3 times what the, bombs.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you look at as the American military were approaching the Japanese mainland. So obviously Okinawa was one of the biggest, the outlying one that they hit, and they went, holy crap! Like these people are not going to, they're not going to surrender. They're not going to give up. They've all been brainwashed almost, but it was like this nationalistic pride which went to a level that we can't imagine, where it was a better solution, or it was a better outcome for them to commit to fight until you can fight no more and then commit suicide. And the Americans went, well, is this going to be what it's going to be like? Every single place that we take as we approach Japan, this is going to get worse and worse. They will fight and kill us until there's no one left, and then the ones that are left. So there was no good solution. They're just not going to stop. So, yeah, the more I learn about it, the Americans got put in a really fucking hard place in the Pacific, and something had to be done, and there was no good thing to be done, So I just say,
much like Germany, Japan never wanted to really get us involved in the war, and not until as late into the war as possible was the whole strategy behind it.
Well, for the Japanese, it was just purely that what they were doing with the Chinese attracted the attention of the rest of the world, and obviously America being a decent country, they said, what you're doing to the Chinese is really not okay, and then that's what kind of started it off. Because
Japan was pissed off too because of the Treaty of Versailles.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get any recognition for the help that they gave us during World War One.
Exactly, and then you had in I think it was in about 1932 or so, they had a global a global summons or whatever, where they said to Japan, "What the hell are you doing in China, especially in how do you pronounce it? Mantau? I don't know. Anyway, there was they were really going nuts in there, and essentially what would be the UN today said, what the fuck are you doing? And they just walked out. They said, sorry, we helped you in World War One. We're going to do whatever the hell we want. And they walked out, and then the tension just built and built and built, and then we had Pearl Harbor. I mean, the Emperor of Japan actually wanted to formally declare war. He did not want to do a surprise attack, but he was talked out of it by the military advisors in Japan, or the high-ranking military officials, because they said
Admiral Tojo.
Yeah, Tojo, exactly, because that's how we've always done it in Japan. That's how we do it. We attack by surprise because we don't have the resources to back up a long, prolonged conflict. But
exactly.
Anyway, I could talk about this crap all day, Nick. Don't get me started.
Yeah, I can too, but it's actually starting to get late on the East Coast, and I have stuff to
exactly.
do.
I'm actually going to go fishing because it's only just hitting about lunchtime here.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to have some lunch, and then I'm going to take my son fishing down at the river.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we will not hold you up from that.
Well, absolutely can't tell you how great it's been talking to you, Nick, mate. Because we've never, obviously we've been friends for a while now, but we've never actually, talked.
We haven't done the face-to-face thing. And I think
Yeah.
in 2020, this is about as close as you're legally allowed to get to another person.
Well, yeah, definitely for some time to come by the looks of it.
But we will probably do this again because I think a lot of people still have some questions. We hit some record numbers of 11 viewers at one point.
Whoa! Shut the front door.
I know. I think Jay wants to be here too. I think he's a little upset that he had to miss it. But
Oh, okay.
sorry.
Well, I'm happy to do this anytime. Yeah, usually, obviously, I'm going to be out on my boat, but let me know and I'll be here. I'll be here because I can take my boat out anytime.
Will do. Well, as always, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed. All those things help us. And remember, communists aren't people.
That's right. Thanks for having me.
Not a